All right, everyone. We are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and with me is all I actually need, none other than my co-host, Noble.
And good night if you're in the US and watching this at the time.
Indeed, it is a good evening out there in the States. And night if you are so inclined to not be able to wake up if you're in Europe. So, there you go. Anyway, well, there's quite a bit of craziness happening this week. And what I want to touch on first is in the scene of the furry world. Now, here's what we've got. All right, what we are looking at is the site of the COVID safe furs.
Okay.
Okay. And this is something honestly, I want to ask you, especially Noble and anyone who's listening, when's the last time you've seen COVID circulating around in the world, in the real world,
I do know, I think it was 3 months ago, there was a bit of a warning going out, at least in my area, that infections had sort of spiked again, but nowhere near to what it was back in, 2020. So, yeah.
Right, 2020, 2021, exactly that. Like, I haven't even heard, I've only had a few cases at like 2023 where some of the people around our work got hit with it, and that pretty much was just about it. But zip all ever since. So it's like, yeah, COVID should be done, buried, and whatever.
Well, no,
And,
it's technically still a thing, so it is
yeah.
something that should be slapped in with other viral infections, but why is there an entire website dedicated to this?
Right. Why is there exactly an entire group in the furry community dedicated to still, going around with COVID when there's no thingo?
I would have thought
And
AIDS would have been like, or other
right,
sexual transmitted diseases would have been something to like, toss in as potential problems. But
yes,
eh,
right. So look at this. The COVID Safe Furs is a group, and let's read their blurb. We are COVID Safe Furs, and we advocate for COVID safety, education, inclusivity, and community support within the furry fandom. So the
hold
ongoing
hold on. Sorry, inclusivity of
what
COVID. So you're supposed to what
are you
include people who are sick with like the SARS
right?
virus?
Or are you going to include people just so bring them into the tent so that everybody gets COVID? I mean, if it's a way to get herd immunity, okay, well, that's
Yeah,
one way
that's
of putting it.
bullshit. I mean, when I had this virus myself, it knocked me out for like
Right.
almost 2 days.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I want to be included in an event if I'm in that sort of state. I mean, it's like having a real nasty version of the flu. You generally don't want to be going out and sharing
No,
it.
exactly. Exactly. I'm with you on that one. Let's have a look. Let's continue reading. Though the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic remains our primary focus, our approach to public health encompasses all airborne diseases that pose risks to our fandom spaces, from COVID, influenza, and norovirus to emerging threats like H5N1, tuberculosis, and measles. Our mission is to help the fandom fight every kind of quote-unquote concrud.
So they call themselves after the last one. Okay. We offer
Well,
service.
now if you want to fight every sort of concrud, you basically, oh goodness, you don't. We're good. Everyone
Become
gets that.
yeah. Everyone has to become a bubble boy.
Right? No, because no, everybody has to have their convention end to get concrud, and that's pretty much the long and short of it.
Okay, so this next paragraph states at the cons we blah. At the cons we've attended, we offer services such as free N95 masks. I hope they're not the KN95 ones. free rapid tests, free lift testing, fit testing, and free air filter lending. In addition to hosting our flagship educational panels, our approach is to also give people the tools and information they need to protect themselves and to encourage everyone to do what they can, even if it's not perfect, because every little bit helps make our fandom a little safer and a little kinder. If that's how you want to see it.
In that case,
Okay, if this is what they're doing, they should really focus their name on being something more related to infectious diseases than just calling themselves
yeah.
COVID, because it's a little restrictive with terminology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I want to read. No. So this group of people are basically making appearances at small scale at FurCons around the northwestern western part of the US and Canada, including Vancouver, Golden State FurCon, Las Vegas FurCon, or what have you. And of course, it just makes you wonder. Yeah.
Well, something like this should really be put under the category of also management stuff.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, support staff that you have running around,
Yeah.
Parking, accommodation.
Right.
It sounds like the description they've given on their website, yes, something like this is definitely needed, although knock out the DEI crap about inclusivity, because that's just bullshit. There's nothing inclusive about having a fucking viral
Well, I mean, let's
infection.
just have a look. Now that you brought
Or
this
any, in
up,
fact.
let's have a quick look at what they're saying around the furry guide, their guide to COVID safety, and what they say about their version of inclusivity. Let's read. No, so inclusivity is at the core of furry, and COVID safety is an important part of being inclusive. Think about vulnerable populations, people with vulnerable family members, people who can't afford to get sick, or people who don't want to risk long COVID. Many furries, perhaps even a majority, fall into one or more of these categories, and they want to attend and see their friends just as much as everyone else. Let's help each other so we can have a good time.
You could probably reword that completely. I mean, do you want to get infected by a nasty virus? Doesn't matter what it is, or do you want to give it to a friend? I mean, would you really like giving your grandmother or someone you truly care about, something that's going to knock them out for a couple of days? At worst, with me, like once with I had the flu once for 3 months, and it was a killer. But yeah, I wouldn't want to share that with anyone else. And if you're somebody that feels that that's acceptable, you probably want to not do that. But
yeah, definitely. And yet at the same time, if this is, it just makes you wonder, because inclusivity is now such a tainted word. If they wanted to actually say that they're all for protect, offering people advice on how to protect yourself against these diseases, it's more, there's a better one word phrase that you can actually use, and I don't know exactly what it is off the top of my head, but yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just when it comes to inclusivity, the furry fandom tends to ban people just because of you're dressing up as a German Shepherd. If you want to ban someone from that, that's not being inclusive.
Right, being species, this is probably the thing is that just comes to mind on that one.
You want to ban someone for smearing, feces all over the walls? Then that's a good idea. Or that whole pizza thing. I mean, yeah, banning someone for their actions, and certain cringe things because it's illegal. But so is there anything else a cringe?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they still do say that their points of view, in their points of view, they still say and maintain the pandemic on their website. It says here The pandemic has not ended. People continue to be infected and die of COVID every day.
Hang on, can you look up the the definition of a pandemic?
Right. I'll get to that one.
Because I'm pretty sure there's something in that would show that it's not exactly a pandemic anymore.
Yeah, it's a widespread occurrence. In the definition is a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease over a whole country or the world at a particular time. And what was that
Right.
particular time? 2020, 2021.
Maybe 2022 at the latest.
Yeah. Yeah, but even then, that's still, it's, yeah.
The
Everything else
pandemic,
beyond that is pushing it.
the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic is over. Yes, it is still out there. Yes, it can infect you. Yes, it can cause long-term problems. And yes, in the very worst of cases, it will kill you. Just like the flu, just like the cold, if it gets worse and not treated properly.
Hmm.
Anyway,
Yeah, but the rest of it, as they say, it is basically just saying, you know, a whole sort of guidelines, measurements, and recommendations and pieces of advice for convention or and event organizers to see how they can best protect themselves from, from COVID and that.
I can
And
under
yeah,
if a FurCon's been running this long, they should know how to handle this sort of thing. But if a new one starts up, an organization like this would definitely be helpful
hmm
as long as they can follow the instructions of the actual country they're in. Because I'm assuming this organization is US based.
it is US based.
So if a France FurCon kicks up and they start giving all these American requirements, but France has different ones, I mean, it could be a
Yeah,
bit of a problem. But the person on the receiving end would have to be smart enough to
yes,
read. Not trust
something.
fucking AI.
I mean, language. It's one thing with language, but most Western European countries are about being are they have a good understanding of English, but and even then it's but that's a
No,
whole thing for another time. But
no,
still,
it's not English translations. It's more requirements or
like yeah, and and other sets of mores and that. So
an excellent example I could
that's
give when Walmart went to Germany, they fucked up royally because they had people standing at the front of the stores welcoming them, and the locals didn't exactly find that overly good. And there's a
yeah,
whole union
I
thing that they
completely
did.
get you on that one. No, but alas, that's pretty much it though. At some point, and sooner or later, cons have to realize that pretty much COVID is no longer the big scary menace thing that everybody's worried about, unless of course they're planning to live their lives waiting for the next friggin' pandemic.
No, it really should be put in the situation of you get someone who comes in with AIDS and they decide to have a little R15 plus, R18 plus, sorry.
Yeah. And at that expectation, they just say, yeah, and then all of a sudden now everybody gets the whole infection of like HIV because it's an R18. The R18 has gone rampant, and then suddenly like why isn't there, you know,
Sleep around and find out.
well something that furry seems to do damn well good, seems to do a damn good job of. And then wonder why the heck they got, said mysterious sickness. So yeah, I suppose that's pretty much. And the sheer fact that they had to do, they're still doing this, passing around at conventions. Yeah, yeah. Nah. Anyway, let's move on to the next item that we've got, and this is one that's Well, a lot of people have a lot of mixed opinions, but a lot of people are quite, in some ways excited about because this is something they've kind of always wanted. So, I'm sure you, as a big follower of Pokemon, have kept up to date with the latest big thing that's supposed to be coming out, Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have any follow up for that.
I mean, all things considered, now have you watched the latest trailer on Pokemon Legends ZA, the big release thing?
I've seen the thumbnail. I haven't actually watched it, namely because we've got the gold and silver starters, and I was under the assumption that this was going to be X and Y.
Right. Except one of the gold and silver starters was conspicuously absent. You can
So
you can probably guess who and why that was the case.
the latest cancelled Pokemon?
Yes. It was a bummer too because that latest supposedly cancelled Pokemon was such a big part of of my early life as well.
I actually got Pokemon Silver was the first one I played, and Typhlosion was my Cyndaquil was my starter, but I went through the Elite Four
Uh,
several bloody times with Typhlosion getting it up to level 100.
because my brother basically called dibs on getting Cyndaquil when we were during the gold and silver days, I guess I was stuck with Totodile. Not that I'm complaining.
The bouncy little snappy.
Yes.
If you've
Yeah,
watched the show, you'd understand what I'm referring to.
I know. I do. I mean, I watched the gold and silver episodes. Oh goodness, that's great.
Yeah, it kind
But
of fascinates me that the Orange League never actually got a game release.
right, because it was never, it was just more filler for the.
Yeah, I know, but it would be fun to go around in a that sort of manner where you just have to do some kind of challenge in order to complete the gym match instead of having a full-on brawl with them. But anyway,
Yeah. Now here's the. I mean, of all the fire Pokemon starters though, now to make up for the absence of what's it called Cyndaquil, they had to have chosen that one.
you want to bring her up on the screen?
Uh, Perhaps so. But I think right. Oh, it was that pig Pokemon though. But that's what it is. Either way, I guess what we're going to go about with the next item is that. Speaking of what's it called? So, there was somebody who complained about Pokemon this time around. That's the funny part before we get to the whole interesting thing. And that this one person complained that if you did not pick up Chikorita as a starting Pokemon, then apparently you get called all the bad names. I'm not making this up. I wish
What?
I wish this was not. Yes, you're. No way, right? Like,
Do you have a thing for it? A link?
I'll get.
A thing.
Yes, 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 yes. I should be able to find it for you. We could. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there is. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep. Somebody says. All right. Let me just see if I can get this on Twitter. But yes, if you basically there is somebody who complained that if you did not pick up Chikorita, you basically get all the bad names in the world and why? What the heck prompted such a thing? Like, I
Are
mean,
they
I don't.
woke?
I mean, here's the thing. We all know. Like, I think if people who remember playing Gold and Silver know that they did. they didn't like picking Chikorita because the early gyms basically gave you so much trouble. And yes, let me just share with you this whole whatever it is because it's legit.
You guys are sexist for not. Hang on, what? You guys are. You are sexist for not picking Chikorita in Pokemon. What do you mean? Who's picking Chikorita? The Pokemon fandom sexist is showing, and I'm just picking my girl from Legends. I'm sorry, but what if the Chikorita in the game that you started is male?
And that's the funniest part, isn't it? Though, like isn't it the fact that if you looked at the in-game files or the stats, the probability of you getting a male starter Pokemon far outweighs the probability of you getting a female one.
Oh, it really depends on what game you're playing. Sometimes, yeah. I do know with Pokemon. Let's go Pikachu. I spent maybe an hour trying to figure out how to get a female Pikachu at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 switches, so I like to have different setups on different games. But oh, I swear there is an actual thing where people will sit down. I've done it several times with different games, and they will want a specific gender or they'll want specific stats for their starter, and they'll just sit there. And I've seen some streams where they're like the last days of people trying to get the right sort of starter, and it's insane. And to think Pokemon exists for shut-ins. No, sorry, it was made by someone who was a shut-in. And the whole point of the game is to go out and trade with people.
Yeah, and then eventually now you're basically literally walking around the world, phone in hand, and yeah,
Pokemon,
and
let's go.
exactly, yeah, Pokemon Go pretty much just repopularized that. But yes, finally I have found the article that I was looking for, the whole Chicory. Oh, what am I doing?
I
Okay.
swear that whole comment reminds me of that whole Terminator thing, where it's like you're a closeted misogynist if you don't like Terminator. Was it Salvations or something?
Right, or whatever it was where he had that woman, the Terminator, the Dark Fate, or whatever it was. Not Salvation.
Oh, that's right, Tempeg.
Yes.
I wonder what on earth they were thinking when they went through these starters.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder if this has anything to do with the Pokemon sideshow or the character that had a Chikorita. Was it like a basic?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a. What game was she playing? She was completely obsessed about. Anyway.
Okay, get this. I can't believe somebody actually wrote this. Says not even the possibility of mega evolution or a new regional evolution is enough to stop the Chikorita hate. What? Since it was introduced back in the Gen 2 titles, Gold and Silver, and became a member of Ash's team in the anime, Chikorita and her iconic leaf ponytail have been the subjects of criticism and bad faith debates, held to the same double standards as the girls and LGB fans who have stuck by her side all these years. I think I have gone a brain aneurysm from here.
Boombox has got something to say about that.
Maybe AI wrote it.
I would hope so. I'm sorry. I have not. Look, I'm not active in the Pokemon community, but I don't understand why there would be hate for Chikorita and why. What the hell? In the meantime, singing out Chikorita and bashing its stats feels needlessly hateful and honestly pretty sexist and homophobic. To be asking who's planning on picking Chikorita, I'm tired of debating my favorite stats.
Started by ability.
If you want a fucking dinosaur as a starter, go with Chikorita. I'm sorry, but that's what its final evolution kind of looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, I don't pick a starter because, oh, it's got the best stats, or, oh, hey, it's this or that. It's like, oh, I like this one, so I'll go with this one as my starter. Well, because I went with that one, I'm going to pick this other one. I don't give a shit. Besides, if you're going to solely rely on your starter to get you through the entire fucking game, then you're not playing it properly.
Right.
If you are going, oh, this is the Mary Sue. If you want to go through and do like one of those game challenges where you have to play a particular way, then yes, this is when you really need to focus on what starter you need to go with, because otherwise you'll have a hard ass time. But if you're going to sit there and play through the game thoroughly, it doesn't matter what starter you start off with, because you just catch as many other bloody bastards as you can and start throwing them at people left, right, and center to win the damn game. You don't turn around and rely on the first one you got.
I mean, stats really much only matter if you're basically trying to min-max or thingo or play in competitive, but even then.
Turning around and saying that a Pokemon has bad stats because that's how it's programmed. That's the point of the game, you idiot. And besides, the modern games, you've got the option of turning around and making adjustments to your Pokemon so they get a little better. And if you're going to be one of those useless twats that mouth off about how, I don't want Pokerus, it's a virus. It's like, yeah, it turns around and has a use. Learn it and then use it.
Yeah, what I'm scratching my head about is that, bagging out Chikorita's stats is apparently, and, homophobe.
Chikorita's cute and annoying, so fucking what?
Yeah, my brain cannot compute this.
I look at a Chikorita and I'm thinking, all right, I'm going with a fire type.
I mean, yeah. I mean, weakness. Once it's a whole weakness, but at the end of the day, it's just, you just gotta take it for what it is. So,
I'm going to make the assumption here, but most people probably don't realize that if you spend enough time with your starter, you can make it kick ass. But you also got to keep an eye on what level it's at, because if it gets too high of a level, it will stop listening to you, which ends up becoming a serious pain in the ass. God, why do people have to nitpick Pokemon this much?
Well, yeah. Well, why do people have to make it so difficult, don't they? Like, it's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah. Now, to get back onto what we really wanted to talk about, Pokemon Legends ZA is that they have really overhauled the entire combat system. You didn't watch the trailer, did you?
No.
So, realistically, what they have done, I'll bring it up on Twitter again for you, but what they have done is basically overhauled it so that, it's not completely entirely turn-based, but now Pokemon are actually on a field and you can literally and actually move yourself and the Pokemon will follow along with you. Does this kind of follow now that,
Have they gone down the path of like Legends Arceus?
No, this is something completely new.
Right.
Yeah. So now you don't have to, dodging an attack is no longer based on probability, but, you can finally actually move your character. So yes. All right. Well, I do have an article for you though, just in case you're a bit confused about this. All right. Pokemon fans bemoan new combat system for Pokemon Legends Z-A. And I mean, again, I won't play the whole YouTube thing just in case we get, copyright struck or whatever it is.
Okay, so in an additional look at the game, then a narrator details this game offers a style of Pokemon battling not seen in previous titles. Moves can have a longer or shorter reach or different areas of effects. You choose your timing, positioning to gain the upper hand. Okay, so it's a little more in depth than what it used to be. Furthermore, it allows the player's trainer to move their battling Pokemon to evade enemy attacks and more. Lead your partner Pokemon through battles and dodge incoming attacks. Swap Pokemon if you need to, and find the right movement to unleash a move. I am
Yeah,
definitely not going to be able to play this on the bus or if I'm at work, if that's how it's going to be, because you can't.
it does require a bit more, a bit more focus and attention given into it because it's on the go. Combat's on the go. It's not stop start. Yeah. And so now you've got Pokemon fans who have you know taken to outcry about this because they worry that the old turn based one that Pokemon has stuck for decades is gone, and now they've replaced it with a real time system. And
Yeah,
so
I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, this is this isn't a game that I can take with me on a portable console. It's not. I'm sorry, but it's not. Turn-based makes it very easy to stop what you're doing for a few moments and then go do something else without having to pause the game, especially if you're only doing it for a few moments. I get how this is going to be more of a creative thing, but it doesn't exactly help if you're in a situation where you're sort of like multitasking.
I get the angle you're coming from. I do. But from a game, from a perspective, look at this from a perspective of game design and try and seeing what Pokemon Legends is trying to do, trying to push the boundaries of what the Pokemon games are capable of. They're trying to go forward and be innovative and try to catch up with the combat systems that you find in modern action and RPG games now that you see nowadays. You
Honestly, they
know,
should have probably done this when they brought out the Switch.
right? Because it took decades for Final Fantasy to go from turn-based on the playing from your PS1 to going to using more elements of real-time combat.
Well, considering the changes they've made to the Pokemon franchise, at least the games itself, yeah, this is too late coming in. They should have brought this out initially. Joel, I sent you on Telegram a Pokerus link.
Yeah.
Could you bring that up? Because Darth Vader in the chat seems to be completely devoid of knowledge, or at least can't search Google for himself.
Right. Pokerus is one of those things that I wouldn't have known about this unless it's something that you've stumbled upon. But
Yeah.
really, again, it is a mechanically great, Pokemon virus.
Can you bring it
But
up on
it's
the
not.
screen?
Yeah, it's just not as you think. It's not exactly what the name would suggest it think.
No.
No.
Pokerus is caught when when a Pokemon battles a wild Pokemon. The effect of the virus are very beneficial. Now I've just lost it again.
Yeah,
Very
beneficial
beneficial as that it receives. Catching the virus, however, is a very rare event, and the odds of meeting a wild Pokemon with it is between 1 and 21,170. Blah, 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 because it just goes completely off the ball. So basically, what happens if you've got a Pokemon with Pokerus and you're able to infect the rest of your party with it is that I think it's like double the stats you get each time you battle. So instead of, say for instance, in a normal fight, after the battle, you would get like 157 battle points. Well, that would increase to something like 260 something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that Pokerus does. It just allows you to bulk up quickly. This is the reason why you want to have the virus, especially if you want to, go through the game really quickly.
Yeah. Right.
But there is a catch. You can't have Pokemon infected in the party after midnight, during around midnight, because there's a chance that it will become cured. So you constantly have to keep putting your affected Pokemon back in the box at the end of the day. Otherwise, you'll lose the infection and then you'll lose that bonus part.
Right.
I love people thinking Pokerus is like this scary
Yeah, it's
thing.
like
It's not.
right.
I
Because
mean, I've spread it throughout all my game saves because it literally makes the game easier for you.
right. No, I mean nobody really thinks the Pokerus is a good thing because if it's association with the word virus. But
Yeah, 2020 was a bloody kicker for it. I had someone going into full-on panic mode because they had Pokerus, and I'm like, you didn't look it up?
I don't know what you'd expect to know. Pokerus is a very, very obscure thing because if it says there's only a 1 in 20,000 chance of getting it.
Yeah.
I mean, still. Now, to get back to the whole, what they've done with the combat system. All right, I know I can think of one very, very recent release that has a real time combat system and that Pokemon is has gone to shits with it.
No.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, that's
Yeah.
probably the reason why they brought it out now, then.
I mean, oh well, look at that. The conspiracy theories start to unfold, isn't it? Though, I mean, Pal World basically designed a game with free, real time because it's open world, like the game because the way the game world and all that was designed, the engine facilitated such a need. I would think.
They brought out, Game Freak brought out these ridiculous mini games for the simple purpose of boosting the stats of a Pokemon, just to override that whole Fakemon thing, where you get like I forget the name of the program, but you basically can design your own Pokemon and then upload them to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, oh, hey, this game seems to be doing really popular. Oh, hey, they're competitive. Let's just copy them. I would love it if Power World tried to sue Pokemon over that.
Right. Because I mean, at the end of the day, Power World system is pretty simple. I mean, you put your thing out onto the field, and your pal has a couple of moves, and
You pick it up and use it as a blowtorch. That was a good one.
yeah, that is something that that is so out there, and I love it. But the gist is like they have free moves, and it has once they use their move, it has this time that has a recovery time till it uses it again. And if I have what's it called? As I have watched a trailer, yes, Pokemon they have 4 moves, like corresponds to one of the face buttons. Press it, tell the Pokemon will do a move. Like you want it to do a flamethrower, it'll do flamethrower. And yeah, like after that, you just it needs some time to so you can then it can use the flamethrower again.
So my curiosity right now would be, how many Pokemon can you have out on the field at once?
Right now, it's just shown that it's for single battles, but because double battles are a thing, you can imagine that this thing could theoretically facilitate for double battles. But we haven't seen anything just yet.
My understanding of the whole reason why most battles are one-on-one is an honor-based thing. Now, I can understand in a battle between another trainer only relying on one single Pokemon, but why can't you have 2 in a wild encounter? See, that's a mechanic I would have loved to have seen brought in, because instead of turning around and solely relying on one to, do all the beating, you could tag team the bastard.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
If you've played the latest mainstream games that were released, you'd encounter areas where you'd have like a level 20, and then if you walked like maybe 20 seconds, you'd find an area where you got like a level 40 or a level 50 wild Pokemon. And in that sort of situation, having the ability to like summon 2 of your party out to start beating the snot out of this like higher level one would actually be entertaining. I mean, you probably wouldn't be able to use it depending on what part of the game you're in, but still, it would be a strategy that you could deploy.
Oh.
I mean,
Right.
especially if you want to use hyper beam, but that's just me.
I mean, I can only imagine what the Legend ZA version of Hyper Beam would play out to be. You just basically blast that beam, and then you have a long recharge time where you cannot, use any other attacks.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass when you miss with that one.
Right, but now moves are because it's real time, and now that I mean, how many people have literally said that they wish that they could tell their Pokemon to dodge, and now they can? Yeah. Just
Hang
because,
on, is this voice activated or is it just button press?
You move your controller stick, and then you move, and the Pokemon follows you. So,
I can't wait till they include voice capabilities in a mainstream Pokemon game instead of Let's Go Pikachu.
Realistic. I mean, if that was the case, that...
Sorry, Hey You Pikachu. It was Hey You Pikachu. No, Let's Go.
Yeah, but as you were thinking, though, I will have to say this though: Pokemon has needed to innovate in order to stay, to stay fresh, stay relevant, and you would think that people who are still stuck in the old way, old ways of keeping it turn based, are complaining about this. I mean, honestly, yeah. Now Pokemon will just remain the same thing again, stagnant and whatever. If Pokemon Legends didn't come out and push the boundaries of what's capable.
What was the remake I'm thinking of right now? Sorry. Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl remake was nothing but a 3D remake of the original game.
Right.
That was psychotic.
Just with more high definition graphics is really all it is, and just preserving the rest. That's it. Yeah. That's pretty much what you could say about the generation remakes. But yeah, I guess that's just whatever. I, for one, am excited to see the this new combat in action in ZA. So yeah. Because after that, like, I mean, you look at other games like that started their roots from turn-based and then now they're doing this.
I'm not much of a gamer.
Game. We've missed an awful lot, man. Like I said, Final Fantasy couldn't do the whole could do the whole turn-based forever. They'd stagnate and whatever. Now they've basically merged both. The best of both worlds, incorporate turn-based and real time in one happy marriage, and it actually worked pretty well for quite some time. And of course you've had other MMOs like Final Fantasy 14 that play out just like an MMO with a system similar to World of Warcraft. So yeah, I'm all for innovating, doing something fresh, and that's what ZA is doing. So yeah. Anyway, on to the next other thing that we've got. We have a movie trailer to go and have a look at, and
I'll try not to be too square with this one.
Pun excused. And yes, I'll need to share the audio for this just so.
I will make it bad and I will make it worse.
Deal.
I'm gonna cushion our fall with this water bucket! Release! In the overworld,
wow,
anything you can dream about, you can create.
So they built all this?
Yeah, most of it.
that thing doesn't understand a word you're saying.
We're talking.
Life here was perfect. Until one day, Flint and Steel, we came across the Nether. A place with no joy or creativity at all. You! What are you making? Oh! If they get their way, this beautiful world and everything in it will wither and die.
Vio con Dios. Means goodbye, brother.
No, it doesn't.
But look at her. It does.
If we want to save this world, creativity is key to survival. Now what? Elytra wingsuits.
Bye-bye. Those things work, right?
Absolutely. Coming in hot!
I got something for you.
I love Blue House. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
This place makes no sense. Let's do this.
They want me to fight the chicken?
Chicken jockey.
Oh no, not again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you all right? Your head is huge.
Wow.
Okay, I'm glad I never actually watched that until now. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm happy
Jack-
to have cursed your day.
Jack Black and Jason Momoa are definitely not the two people you should have put in this movie. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I could tell Jason Momoa would have definitely had fun doing this. I would have hoped he did, but he's not the type of person to put into this movie, especially if he's acting like that. Jack Black, yeah, he's definitely not the person to put in that movie.
No, and I mean, and I know we've had like episodes of Minecraft, like Tales from Minecraft and all that, and they've had like voice acted Minecraft characters. I mean, story-wise, but still. And yeah, I think having Jack Black in just makes it way too goofy, and for what what Minecraft really is.
I would like to find out whether or not that black chick puts on a more Aaron Brockovich style performance or the Aaron Brockovich movie, because that would be really interesting for me to watch. I think that would be really funny. I mean, probably someone like weighs like half as much, but no, maybe the first Dragonheart movie, the chick that was in that. Still, I'm sorry, Jason Momoa and Jack Black, just no. It destroys it for me for the movie. I mean, Jack Black has definitely been good in some other movies, but no.
I mean, yeah. No. I mean, he pulls off a friggin' great Bowser, but this.
Oh yeah, Bowser, that was the best. This
yeah.
No. I'm sorry, no.
What the? And it's like you go in, you cast him as Steve, and I'm like, what the heck are they trying to do? Make Steve like some washed up 40-something-year-old? Seriously?
I'm used to Jason Momoa being in something like Stargate Atlantis. He was definitely good in, what was it, the comic book series he was in? DC?
Aquaman?
Yeah. That was good. I mean, he took a piss ass week. It's like the whole mask thing. I mean, Jim Carrey redid The Mask the same as Jason Momoa redid Aquaman. The same type of thing. They took a character, and while the character's mask in the comic book was, the type of let's go slaughter everyone, Jason took a weak ass character and had him kick ass, and then there was the whole fucked up thing around the movie franchise, and it completely destroyed it. But no, I'm sorry. No.
Right.
Not these two characters. They should have gone with someone else. Jim Carrey would have been a better pick for this movie.
Think so?
Well, if you give him a bit of comic book superpowers, he basically just tear through it. I mean, you probably couldn't do it because of the whole Sonic franchise, but that's probably a better place for him to be honest.
I mean, the fact is they've basically made it really such a goofy, what's it called, like an over the top sort of thing.
Yeah, and I find it a turn off.
Right. Because if you look at the tonality of what Minecraft is, it's those things. They did have to pull off all the friggin' classic tropes that all the every single person who's played Minecraft can familiarize themselves with, like turning around and finding a creeper self-destruct on you.
Yeah, never played the game, so I wouldn't know.
And of course, you've had. I just can't believe how the whole thing, it all just merged. The Minecraft villager character just basically goes into the real world and gets run over by a car.
Are they that slow usually, or
No, they just basically say, They just basically say these long hums, but because that's just the way that they are in the game.
okay? So it sounds like it's a movie I probably wouldn't find interesting to watch then.
I mean, to each their own, but I think the whole goofiness having Jack Black in was pretty much what killed any interest I had. And the fact that they're doing this in live action has killed pretty much what interest I had in that movie. So, if anything, it's more, I'm just if anything, it'd probably just watch this with a cringe. And not even I would go to the box office for this.
Don't want to waste the salt.
No, I don't want to waste my precious hard-earned dollars on this movie. And it's more, why does this thing why does this thing have to exist? Surely they could have made everybody like blocky characters in the same spirit of the Minecraft world, voiced it and all that, and I would at least appreciate it a bit more. But no. They had to make the people live action while keeping the rest of the Minecraft world just this goofy 3D thing.
I wonder what they're going to do next. I honestly really do.
Right. I just hope that if whatever they do not release a Minecraft movie 2. And frankly, I don't care if what I'm suggesting does not age well, because as producers are literally chomping at the bit to create a Minecraft movie 2.
Look, a film Jack Black was in recently, Jumanji 2. The first one was definitely okay, but then they sort of draw it out a little more than they should have. I didn't like that.
Right. But then again, now we had the whole, the whole newer Jumanji movies, where they cast Dwayne Johnson.
The first one was good. The second one, but moving forward with that franchise with more movies, no. Having a second one, the one they brought out, I thought they definitely hit it. That was a good one, but just to try to continue doing with no.
Fair. But I suppose, like all things considered, now we're basically stuck with Jack Black for Steve and Jason Momoa as that other bloke, and the whole cast of other side thingos. It's I don't know. Honestly, of all the things, like, I just for the life of me can't see what would be good. Like, how I don't think Minecraft would ever translate really damn well to live action, but and I would still stand by it because the appeal for me is just not there. Because honestly, I feel that there are some things that you just do not try in live action. I mean, Pokemon Sonic not being one of them because they actually took the effort to make it look aesthetically pleasing. Minecraft? No. It just looks really goofy. Because honestly, like you look at them and then you ask yourselves, what are the what are the people who are responsible for this sort of CG thinking when they try to translate this into 3D, into this level of 3D of high detail?
Well, they definitely tried. I mean, I'd hate to think of the render costs for you producing what they did, but still.
Oh no, animation costs it'll cost in the millions, easy. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. You have to pay the animators, you have to pay for software, blah blah blah. And frick, I don't know what to tell you other than it just all adds up.
Look, they tried, they did something. Actually, has anyone ever released a high definition version of Minecraft anyway?
Not as an official game, but they've had these RTX mod. They have RTX mods and Ultra HD texture packs. If that's what you're thinking.
Seems about right, and yes.
And honestly, I would think that even even the RTX mods would just be they'd be quite something to say the very least. So I guess there you go. That's not to say I play modded Minecraft, which again some people really should reckon I really should. Then again, it's been years since I've played Minecraft.
Maybe it's time to dust off the old icon and try to fire it up.
Oh yeah, just to see what I've missed, catch up, start again, and all that good stuff. Get a friend or two. Oh yeah, just see how that all goes. Would be fun, but yeah, I gotta get an old friend back or something. But yeah, does this make me want to go back and play Minecraft? The whole movie thing? Not really. Just gives me an eyesore out of it though. And it just makes me wonder what the heck Notch, the creator of Minecraft, is thinking about all this though.
Has he posted anything?
Oh, I could just go on his Twitter just to see what how he's going to react on the Minecraft movie.
Probably the best way to wrap this little story up then.
Yeah. Let's just see, Notch's All right, yeah. Let's just see what. Okay. Minecraft movie Notch. Oh goodness. I don't know.
Nothing said yet?
No, not yet. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. I mean, everybody's been asking about what he thinks about Minecraft movie. I'm not so sure just yet. But honestly, the fact is, since he sold it off, at the end of the day, Microsoft is the one who has the reins over all this. So, well, it's kind of just what it is. It's really.
Oh, maybe once it's released, we'll hear.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, again, like I said, I'm skipping this one, and that's the end of it. End of story, end of week, and well, it might have been a quiet one. What do you think? What do you got? What Noble? So what have you got to wrap this all up with?
The COVID thing, I still think that group needs to change their name. Pokemon A to Z, I really wish they kept with the X and Y starters. Minecraft, I don't think we needed this movie. This was just a cash grab like with the last Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles release. How about you, Jolt?
I'm inclined to agree with the Minecraft one. Like I said, I'm also of the opinion of the COVID first. That honestly, yeah, they're basically fighting a thing that's pretty much past its use by date. Well past its use by date, if anything else, out of relevance. And I really do just have to say, I do have to give kudos to Pokemon for wanting to innovate, because to pushing that thing. Maybe I'm not sure if, again, maybe Power Worlds may have had a thing about it, because at least Power World was built from the get go to be up to par with games these days. And maybe I think if Pokemon basically catches up to that, then great. At least competition has had its effect in for its intended purposes. So there you go. All right, so I guess that's pretty much all we've got for the week. Thank you for tuning in. And as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more. Well, that's all we've got for the week. Until next time.
Don't forget your injections.